Hello there, how are you today? First thing I want to mention is that even though with the faceted bead, the Q is the same in the last piece as it will be in this piece, but for the seed beads, I have chosen a different color for the Q than I used in the seed beads of the last piece. This will happen with different colors for the 4 different seasons because I choose the color to go with the surrounding colors. With the faceted beads, they're all one coating or type, they're all just transparent. But with the seed beads, they're very different, so sometimes I need a different color to better suit the other colors around it. So you will find that occasionally the color in the different facings will be different even though the letter for the color is the same, because it is the same color in the faceted beads when I originally created the pattern. So I just wanted to note that. Now here I also want to show you I have finished the 2 pieces for the last square, and I have added my support. This one I chose 136F for the background because I had lots of that color and it was the lightest color and I felt it would look best for this piece. And then for the faceted beads, as I mentioned before, I chose the light orange, which is the number 14 color. So I just wanted to let you see which colors I chose for my support on my 2 squares. Now in this video, I primarily want to talk about the string. I mentioned that I recommend you start with 3 feet of string. Now you'll have a hard time seeing this string because it is the monofilament. Here actually, maybe with the blue. Yeah, the blue makes it stand out a little better. So I did 3 feet of string and I created the last square with my 4mm plastic faceted beads and the cross weave, which is the weave that I prefer. So now I have secured the string and I'm going to clip off the excess. Now as you can see for this one, because it's the larger beads, I don't have a lot of excess, but this is enough for me to show you how to determine how much string you will need or can figure out. So I have 2 strings because I did the cross weave. Now when you do the diamond weave or the right angle weave, your end at the beginning will have already been secured and taken care of, so you don't need to worry about that end. So you only need to measure 1 for these 2. But for the cross weave, because both your ends stop at the end of your piece, you have to measure both strings when you cut them. So for this one I shall measure, and I have approximately 6 inches exactly, and this one is about 5.5 inches exactly. So that gives me 11.5. So if I had used the diamond weave, I probably would have 1 string that is 11.5. Well, actually it would be shorter because the other end would have taken some. So I probably would have 1 string that was about 6 inches. So if you use the cross weave, you want to measure both strings, add them together, which is about 11.5. Then you want to keep about 6 inches because you want to have enough at the end so that you can secure your string and cut it off and still be able to work with it. So you want to keep about 6 inches. So that means you would want your string to be about 5.5 inches shorter. So you could say about 6 inches shorter. So anything at least 2.5 feet would work for the cross weave. Like I said, for the diamond weave, you'd probably have 1 left that's about 6 inches, and you'd only have to keep about 3 because you're just doing one end instead of both ends. So you would only need to take off about, well, you probably would have a little bit more, but just say you had 6 inches left. You take about 3 inches off, so you might keep it at the 3 feet, or you might cut it down just a little bit more. But that's how you can determine, is once you finish your piece and you've secured your string, your leftover string you'll measure and then determine how much shorter to make your next piece so that you don't have a lot of excess string left over. Now with the seed beads, of course, you'll have more than this left over because the beads are much smaller, but I wanted to do it with the 4mm because one, it would give me shorter string and I could more easily show you on this small area how to measure it out. So remember, with the right angle and diamond weave, you'll just have the one at the end that you'll measure, and you'll keep about 3 inches, and then you'll make yours that much shorter according to what you measured. With the cross weave, you want to measure both strings at the end and keep about 6 inches total and cut off the extra. I hope that is useful to you, and that is one way that I determine, once I've used a longer string with the first piece, what size to use for following pieces. Happy beading, and hope to see you in the next video.